Fala aí galera, hoje trazendo aqui um gameplay de Sherlock Holmes The Awakened. Esse aqui é um remake de um jogo de 2007, então vai chegar aí pra PC, pra Switch, pra Playstations e Xboxes. Estou jogando a versão do Playstation 5, a publisher me mandou uma aqui pra eu testar o jogo. Então ele tá em português, eu nunca joguei esse jogo pra falar a verdade, então esse remake aqui parece que é pra animar os fãs. E vamos dar uma olhada. Uma sombra sobre Londres, hein? Realmente eu não joguei o jogo, gente.
Dr. Watson, would you kindly close the door behind you so that we can limit the price of your carelessness to merely hours of work rather than days?
My apologies, Mr. Holmes. I found myself rather taken aback. I saw tidier houses in war-torn Afghanistan. Are those my surgical needles?
I ran out of tacks and the matter required immediate attention.
Was that my supper?
Plainly not, for I was the one who ate it.
I set it aside for this evening.
And for that I am grateful.
Is that my bed?
Watson, since you've proven yourself a master of observation, might I ask you to apply your skills to a more pertinent question? Namely, the whereabouts of today's newspapers. They are the key to everything. The newsboy is usually reliable.
Medically speaking, I often find that the key to everything is good sleep. In a bed. Your papers are here, on the table.
Let us see what the postman brought today.
Ok. Então vamos começar aqui a investigação. Eu joguei recentemente alguns jogos do Sherlock Holmes assim. E esse aqui parece que é um esquema mais antigão mesmo. Então temos aqui notícias de 28 de setembro de 1882. Uau! Homem facilmente notado.
Local gossip, all of it uninteresting.
Vou dar uma olhada nesse aqui.
Your order from Barnes' bookshop has arrived, Doctor.
Barnes insists on delivering the books to our door, even though we could easily walk to his shop. That's good service.
Another letter from Werner. I never reply, but they keep coming.
Bom, nós temos três coisinhas aqui nesse tutorial.
I don't see the Strand. Where is it?
Pardon me?
I am on the precipice of uncovering a pattern of crime across London spanning many months and involving many men. The missing paper cannot be a coincidence.
That's preposterous.
My dear fellow, life is infinitely stranger than anything which the mind of man can invent.
Well, life used your newspaper to wipe its posterior, so after that unpleasant discovery this morning, I disposed of it. But in lieu of the Strand, perhaps I can deliver you something equally tantalizing. I have just returned from a patient of mine, Captain Stemwick, who...
No, that will not do. Grab your coat, Dr. Watson. Let us hope nobody has collected the dustbin.
Bom, vamos lá então. O Strange está desaparecendo. Por isso que a gente tem que dar uma olhada. Bom, mas apesar de ser um remake, eles falaram que ainda mantiveram bastante o jogo base. Vou dar uma olhada aqui. Então, estamos aqui na Baker Street em Londres. O que tem que fazer, velho?
The dustbin is yours for the digging, Mr. Holmes.
Eu só não sei pra onde a gente tem que ir aqui, mas tudo bem. Livraria do Bar.
Impressive stature, strong gaze. I think this man deserves a knighthood.
Really, Holmes? How can you be so sure?
On rare occasions, Watson, it can suffice to trust one's gut.
O Arthur Conan Doyle é o cara que escreveu o Sherlock Holmes. Então esse aqui é um easter egg do autor dos livros do Sherlock Holmes. Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. Por isso que ele falou que ele merece knighthood, porque ele já é senhor.
The weather is dreary, isn't it? To be fair, my
Bom,
flowers
não
could
sei o
use
que,
the
que dá pra
rainfall.
fazer aqui. O caracol chegou. Ei, cachaça. Um sonho das crianças. Ih, rapaz, que é isso, mano? Cena de investigação descoberta.
Looks like a factory to me.
Apareceu alguma coisa ali? Não, né? Ah, aqui.
Wonder what could get the gears inside moving.
Tá, temos aqui um quintal secreto. Seja lá o que for.
A model of a homely room and fireplace.
Você tem que meio que investigar mesmo, hein, o bagulho. Isso aqui a gente já pegou. Eu só não entendi o que tem a mais aqui. Isso aqui a gente já investigou.
A model of a homely room and fireplace.
Ah, aqui. Bom, era pra ser alguma coisa aqui, mas... não tá ainda. Ah, que bom, hein, mano. Consigo ver aqui.
A small minecart. Endearing, if disturbing.
Tá ali, ó.
Looks like putting something in the slot may get the gears inside to move.
Bom, temos mais um bagulho aqui. Vamos investigar aqui. Vamos à caça. Rei ou pombos, corvos e rostos no telhado, outros caças desejos sobre vocês. Com uma pista na mão, depende de você achar todos os bonecos. Tá, então temos...
Hadlocks have names etched onto them. Anne, Tom, Charles.
Bom, então aqui a gente tem que
What a
descobrir
grim
algumas
view.
coisas. Parece que a gente vai ter que ir até onde tem água. Onde tem uma... onde tem um lago. Deve ser aqui perto. Olha, deve ter alguma saída, mas... Nossa, eu não sei o que eu estou fazendo. Já encontrei. Ah, é, vamos pro banheiro. Essas crianças estão trolando. Ora, ora, temos um Sherlock Holmes aqui. Mansão de Stanwyck. Será que eu não posso entrar ali?
Don't look at me. If you want the newspaper, you'll have to get your hands dirty.
Pior que eu não consigo achar. Acho que é aqui. Ah, o The Strand tá aqui, mas
If
como é
you
que eu
come
pego?
across one of my drafts, please leave it in the bin. If I'm honest, part of me will enjoy watching you rifle through rubbish. Seems only fair after what you did to our flat.
Vou usar uma zoeira aqui. Tem um monte de exemplar do jornal, ele não pega nenhum deles. Bom, vamos... Aqui é aquela parte da água lá, né? Aqui é aquela coisa...
What does it say?
Bom, sabe o que...
No.
Bem-vindos a caças. Tá, então onde tem a coisa do Arthur
The
tem
treasure.
um...
Used to do lots of those in my childhood for myself and...
Is it a call for help? A bad joke?
or both. Better not risk leaving this matter ignored, don't you think?
Onde é que tem a... Pior que aqui acho que não dá pra sair, né? Será que ele abre aqui? Não. Caramba, hein, mano. O jogo envelheceu mal, hein? Está tudo mais bonito, porém não sei o que fazer. Estou doido. Legal que ele tem até uma... pequena... Ah, tem esse modo investigação criminal aqui. Mas é engraçado que o negócio do... Bom, vamos ver se a gente consegue... Livro do Barnes... Bom, eu tenho que voltar lá pra lixeira, então. Agora que eu percebi que tava na lixeira da casa. Ah, tava aqui, mano. Aê, temos aqui uma picadura. Parabéns, você
You
vai
were
ter que comprar
mistaken, Dr.
outro.
Watson. The paper was indeed dirtied, but not how you implied. It's potting soil. See, Watson? The conspiracy is real. Someone tried to poison me.
Poison? You? That's madness.
Get the Strand. Get your copy of the Strand here.
Tá bom, vamos lá.
Sorry, Mr. Holmes. I just sold my last paper.
Blast. Then why are you still here?
Boss pays by the hour. No sense in returning early.
You're a bright child. I presume you see everything that goes on around here?
Nothing gets past me, mister.
Then tell me, did you notice anyone suspicious at my door this morning?
Like the man with your newspaper?
Precisely. What do you know?
I know the value of a shilling.
Dr. Watson?
Cool, now I can take the day off.
Did you see what he was up to?
Nah, not really. I saw him approaching your house, but I had a customer. Then there's a loud bang. I ducked down. Not because I was scared, because I wasn't. I had to protect the merchandise. And all I could see was him kneeling at your door.
Which way did he go?
Not sure. I was distracted by customers. Sorry.
Can you describe the man you saw?
He was carrying a lot of books. Up to his chin they were.
Never heard of a well-read assassin.
Looks can deceive. Hence the appeal of disguises. All right. You earned your shilling. That'll be all.
Thanks, Mr. Holmes. Maybe I could be your eyes and ears. If you have more shillings.
Tá. Então...
Get the Strand. Get your copy of the Strand here.
Não viu muito, lembra-se do homem suspeito da casa, vou carregar uma pilha de livros. Tá, aqui também a gente tá... pra lá tem um carrinho de mão. Aqui. Carrinho de mão, bateu.
A miner with a sooty face. At least, in doll form.
Ah, eu quero isso aqui, mano.
What's this?
Tá, os pombos estão aqui. Agora, ali a gente já viu. Agora perto das fruteiras, ali tem um último. Bom, enquanto eu não... Vamos fazer esta casa que a gente já está resolvendo. Eu só preciso achar as lojinhas. As lojinhas acho que é dentro perto daquela mansão ali, né? Feira da fruta, peraí. Acho que é ali, ó. Que é a casa...
Yeah, I did.
Achei.
Seems to be for me. Seems to be for me. Unnaturally bent legs, yet they look to be a design choice.
Tá. Então agora a gente tem que... voltar lá onde tem as crianças doidas. Ah não, mas aqui eu já fui. Ah, eu quero resolver esse mistério aí agora. Porque... antes da gente continuar o jogo. Vamos lá. Não sei se eu apertar os botões aqui.
Charles.
Aê!
Anne.
E agora... aqui ainda faltava 2 negocinhos, né, mano? Mas eu não sei aonde que a gente vai enfiar esse buraco. Ah, aqui em cima.
Chimney bears a peculiar form, like it's meant to have something put inside.
Ok. Mas eu achei os 3 bonecos.
Tom.
Vamos lá, agora a gente vai abrir essa porcaria aqui. Se não tiver algo bom aqui, eu vou ficar muito bravo, hein? Ahá! Charles, tem a Mary também.
Tom, Charles, Anne, and Mary.
Bando de criança feia, meu Deus. Charles Potter. Ok. Cidades de óbito. Nossa, que coisa.
Last doll seems recently made.
E agora? Isso aqui é muito... Nossa, meu Deus. Que horror! Mais forte... Caramba, que triste.
Not sure I like the treasure hunt's ending.
Could we really have saved
Todo mundo
her
morreu.
books?
No. Solving this crime is beyond my reach. It is society who must work on sparing children from death by hard labor.
Então eles fizeram as crianças trabalhar. Que isso, mano. Ó, então aqui no start, galera, tem os itens que eu achei, né? E aqui tem a investigação. Então você pode linkar algumas coisas, como assim. Quem arruinou o Strange? Então você vai ter que juntar. Tem o hino da Barnes. Tem... Foi Barnes, o coisa local. O Sr. Barnes está envolvido no esquema, hein? Vagabundo, hein? Vamos falar com o Sr. Barnes. E aí...
Come now, Mr. Holmes. Murder? Yes, Barnes has his quirks, but he also has his scruples.
Not every pawn knows it's part of a game.
Bom, eu tenho que encontrar agora a livraria. Eu passei por ela. Eu acho que ela tá aqui. Se você não ajustar ali o negócio, você não consegue nunca. Aha!
How about that Vogel fellow? He seems rather obsessed with you. Would he do something like this?
Vou observar. Temos que observar as olheiras, excesso de trabalho. Tá aparecendo eu. que mais aqui? Opa, que isso, cara? Acho que eu tenho que ver o que ele está lendo, né? Tinta de jornal. E aqui apoio fortemente florida da esquerda. E agora os saltos. Então ele é... O Sr. Mar tem marcas e olheiras profundas. Ele não tem muita confiança em saltos, não é possível. Então a gente vai ter que acusar ele de alguma coisa. Provavelmente consciência de ataque. Eu acho que ele está sendo vítima de um chantagem. Vamos aceitar isso aqui.
Mr. Barnes, a word. Ah, for goodness sake.
Who goes there?
Sherlock Holmes. Now will you please...
Mr. Holmes. Golly, I did not see you come in.
Would you care to answer some questions for me?
Well, I wish I could, but I am deep in the weeds with work. How about we reschedule in a month or two?
Come now, Mr. Barnes. It will only take a moment.
Really deep in the weeds with important things. Well, help yourself to any book. Just take it and pay later. I trust you, Mr. Holmes.
Barnes doesn't seem like himself. Why is he acting this way?
You're asking the right questions, Doctor. Let's find a way to coax him out.
Vamos ver aqui. Um catálogo de plantas exóticas. Plantas imortais para um amor eterno. Claro, plantas imortais para um amor eterno.
Basics of cryptoanalysis, cryptography in Egypt. It appears Barnes has an interesting hobby. I could hardly imagine anything more macabre. So, Barnes has a dog now. Who's a good boy?
Vamos uma olhada aqui nesses livros. Às vezes minha mira aqui, ela fica meio doidona. Alguma coisa nessa
In the
planta.
language of Mycroft's secret agents, it's a sign. Dried flowers are replaced when the job is done. I wonder who the recipient is. An improvised stand, but it does make the flowers more visible.
Então acho que não é nenhum desses livros aqui. Apareceu alguma coisa pra cá.
The finest view London has to offer.
Bom, não entendi essa investigação. Deixa eu ver pra cá.
The ladder is broken recently, judging by the freshness of the wood.
Então tem muitos pontos aqui. Mas aqui acho que eu... Aqui acho que ele ia sair, né, do... Ah, dá pra falar com essa tia louca aqui fora. Faz sentido.
Encouraging people to stop and smell the roses?
Our national emblem. God save the Queen.
Só que a... Aham! Ó,
Familiar
começamos
spine?
aqui.
Is this what I found in my dustbin? A familiar spine? Is this what I found in my dustbin? The pot is damaged. The blow was severe, but softened by something. It must take patience and care to produce a bloom so beautiful.
I imagine so. I merely sell them. Anything tickle your fancy, Mr. Holmes?
Aê, é hora de dar aquela analisada. Por vaidade ou dissimulação? Nossa. Gosto de luta. Tecido de luta. O Sherlockão querendo dar uma checada na busanfa. Trocou de caçados ao chegar. Ela foi a culpada. Não foi o Coronel Mostarda. Bom. Em memória ao falecido drone, em comum investimento de trabalho, por vaidade de simulação, trocou o cadáver ao chegar, evita contato e distração. Pronta para seguir em frente. Ainda sofrendo. Acho que sim. Se não for isso aqui...
My condolences, Mrs. Fleming.
Mr. Holmes?
Your husband's death. You're clearly still in mourning.
Oh, no. I loved him more than anything, of course, but that was some time ago now. Life goes on.
A lesson we all learn, one way or another.
Vamos oferecer evidências. Vamos dar o
One of these things is not like the other.
Come again?
The cactus. Those fearsome spines can prove a devil to remove, and the sap is often toxic.
And a rose thorn can give you tetanus, but we still grow them. The cactus seems comparatively harmless, though you have me thinking it must be valuable.
I was under the impression that you knew its price already.
Your guess is as good as mine. The first time I saw this cactus was when I came back from my break.
E que mais que a gente pode... Criptologia.
I don't know anything about this, sorry. I don't know anything about this, sorry. I don't know anything about this, sorry. I'm afraid I can't help with that, Mr. Holmes. I'm afraid I can't help with that, Mr. Holmes.
Acho que é.
I'm afraid I can't help with that, Mr. Holmes. I'm afraid I can't help with that, Mr. Holmes. I'm afraid I can't help with that, Mr.
Acho que já
Holmes.
foi, né?
What do you make of the flowers in Barnes' shop window?
Well, they could use a bit of water.
Do they mean anything to you?
Mean anything how? I'm not sure I follow, Mr. Holmes.
Why do you think they're there?
Are you suggesting the flowers are for me?
It seems likely, does it not?
Oh, I hope you're right. I don't know anything about this, sorry.
Are you familiar with Mr. Barnes?
Yes, no, not really. Well, in a way.
What on earth does that mean?
I know who he is, of course, but we haven't shared much more than a look.
A look?
Yes. Each morning I go for a walk in the park with my dog, and most days I spot Mr. Barnes there with his new puppy, so we see each other. Actually, we once met briefly while our dogs played. He was quiet and seemed unsteady as he approached, but since then, we've never spoken. I often see him staring through the shop window. Sometimes I wonder what he thinks about that would etch such longing onto his face.
Ok. Então, nós temos aqui mais algumas coisinhas. Aí fica difícil, hein? Bom, então... Aqui, então, as flores mortas da vizinha. E nós temos rosas às vendas, não? Errou! Tá quase isso aí, mas... Aê! O Sr. Barnes está apaixonado! Que coisa, hein? Cão apaixonado.
I think perhaps I have been chasing shadows.
Do not despair, Mr. Holmes. Even the best of us make mistakes. We better tell Mr. Barnes what we've learned.
Mr. Barnes, I know what you did, and I know why you did it.
I'm sorry, Mr. Holmes. I can't hear you very well from behind the door.
You ordered a cactus from the plant catalogue and then left it for Mrs. Fleming as a gift. You place flowers in the window to get her attention and wear high heels to appear taller and more desirable. You are her secret admirer. I couldn't read this morning's edition of The Strand because it was covered in soil and spines. I know you dropped a cactus on it and then fled.
Barnes, it's Dr. Watson. Rest assured we are not interested in disclosing your personal affairs to anyone, including Mrs. Fleming. Please come out.
All right, then.
So, you know what happened then? I was on my way back from the post office, having picked up the cactus and some books. It was quite an awkward package, heavy too, and when I got to your door, I dropped the cactus in your paper. Forgive me.
I needed that paper to prove a theory and prevent a crime. Your actions were rather disruptive. Your clumsiness carrying the post is matched only by the clumsiness of your romantic gesture.
Oh, it's true. I am useless with this sort of thing. I'm not even sure if Mrs. Fleming noticed.
As in most things in life, truth is the answer. Cease with the abstruse signals and anonymous gifts, and simply talk to the woman. What is the worst that can happen? She rejects you, and you are freed from this endless purgatory.
That... Yes, you are correct, of course. I do have a slight tendency to overthink things. Thank you.
So, at last, we return to the matter of the paper. I'm investigating a string of burglaries. Did you perhaps read of any before the edition was spoiled?
I don't recall, but you're welcome to read our copy for yourself.
You had an issue of The Strand here all along?
Well, naturally. I am a bookseller. I have a subscription to every magazine and newspaper in London.
So you ought to be familiar with the concept of burying the lead.
Oh no, my apologies, Mr. Holmes. I'll make it up to you however I can. I am an expert on obscure languages and translation and
Yes, okay. Just give me the paper.
Então, ler nas entrelinhas. Ajudei ele na vida amorosa. Ah, meu Deus. Então, The Strange tá aqui, hein? Barulhos de uma massa. Impactantes. Então, agora vai começar o mistério do jogo.
Come, Dr. Watson. Let us put this matter behind us.
Farewell, Mr. Barnes. I hope to hear good news about you and Mrs. Fleming.
Então, essa cena de
Well, that was an
investigação
utter
acabou.
waste of time.
An assassination did seem rather unlikely.
There was supposed to be another burglary. I was certain of it. Something you wish to say, Doctor?
No. Well, only that you have a remarkable faculty for deduction and pattern recognition, and that perhaps, if ill-applied...
I see things that are not there.
Yes. It is London. There will always be burglaries. Doesn't have to mean anything.
So it seems. Forgive me. Without something to occupy my mind, I turn into an entirely different animal.
Which brings us back to my news from earlier. I think I have a case for you, a real one.
Truly?
Indeed. Though perhaps not as thrilling as your stories from Cordona. A patient of mine, Captain Stenwick, told me that his servant disappeared. I said I knew just the man to help. What do you say?
Oh, Watson.
Yes, I know it's not the most tantalizing mystery, nor the story to launch my writing career. But...
It's brilliant. Let's go.
Oh, good. Well, his house is nearby. Come.
Agora está aberta a mansão.
Not much further now.
Quem
Is
essas
this
voltas?
lousy attitude of yours because of my altercation with Inspector Lockhart? Did he put you up to this?
Sir, the inspector has nothing to do with it. I'm telling you the same thing I tell anyone seeking a missing person.
Good day, gentlemen. Forgive the intrusion. Captain Stenwick, this is my colleague Sherlock Holmes, the consulting detective I told you about.
At last, a professional. This useless officer refuses to do anything about Kimmy here, my missing servant. What was your name again? I shall be certain to inform your superiors.
Sergeant Ruffles, and it's my superiors who made this decision, sir.
Have there been other disappearances lately?
Of course, here and there. But when life is tough and opportunity comes knocking, you can't blame those who answer.
Why has the police department decided not to help?
We investigate murders, thefts, fraud, arson, real crimes. A servant walking away from his master is not our highest priority. That said, if we find Kimahia breaking the law, we'll be sure to notify Captain Stenwick. Now, I must be off. Best of luck in your search.
You heard that, didn't you? The way that man spoke to me. I shall need your written testimony. Then we can lodge a complaint.
Captain, perhaps Mr. Holmes' time is better spent learning about your servant, so that he may begin his investigation.
Ah, yes. Quite right. Fire away.
Tell me about Kimahia.
He's foreign. A Maori. All the way from New Zealand. Biggest man you've ever seen, and as strong as two. Dark hair and fearsome tattoos. He doesn't speak a whit of English. Never bothered to learn. But I made do with pointing. I invested a lot of money in him, so he must be found.
When did you last see your servant?
Kimmy here normally brings me the morning papers, but yesterday I had to get them myself. He must have escaped the night before yesterday.
May I see your servant's bedroom?
His shack is in the garden. You can't miss it.
Did you search the room?
Of course, but only to check he wasn't lying dead inside. Everything seemed normal at a glance.
Is there any reason Kimahia may have left?
I should think not. He had all he could have wanted. Gainful employment, new clothes, and all the cabbage he could eat.
Did Kimahia make off with anything of value?
Heavens, no. I would have mentioned it to Sergeant Ruffles.
Still, he must have fled with some money on his person.
No, no. I kept his wages in my safe. For security.
I take it this is the first time Kimahia has vanished?
Undoubtedly. The man seemed terrified of the city. I think it was all the noise. He never left this estate. Should he cause any damage, I will bear the responsibility, for it was I who rescued him from savagery and brought him here to England in the first place.
All right, Captain. I think I have enough to get started. We shall first take a look around the mansion.
Go ahead. I'll be here, mentally drafting my complaint.
Pronto, mais uma cena de investigação. Onde está o Maori? Aí você vai vir aqui, tá dançando haka, não? Ahá, o que nós temos aqui já.
Chewing tobacco. A shoe print, roughly size 11, with a worn-out sole. These are a workman's boots.
Agora esse aqui que é o... marca de
Looks like a
joelho.
knee print. Someone knelt here. The amount of chewing tobacco suggests they were waiting a while.
Amazing, Mr. Holmes. To read the ground like an open book.
Tá, então, com esse vídeo pode reconstruir o passado louco. Então... Então aqui a gente já começa o segundo nódulo, né? É. Mas aqui acho que não tem. Não. O Strange ali ele tem algum bagulho, mas só não sei se é o suficiente isso aqui. Ele tem que coisar o... os itens somem, cara.
Impressive. The sack of grain retained the shape of an impact. Someone hit their head here.
Engraçado, não consigo ver nada. Que engraçado. Ah, é isso aqui mesmo? Oh, luneta.
A small navy spyglass.
Ok. Vamos dar uma olhada nessas coisas aqui.
Clothes made of Hessian. Is Stenwick really so miserly? Is this a Tanifar, a Maori water spirit, or something else?
Either way, it's giving me chills.
No air coming through it. Button chops, the remains of a meal. A heavy chemical odor. Lend me your nose, Doctor.
Ah, I'll never forget that smell after my time in Afghanistan. That's an opioid, Mr. Holmes, a narcotic.
The ashes are long since cold.
Bom, aqui tem umas drogas. Então a gente basicamente tem uns pedaços de investigação. Realmente tá difícil de encontrar. O jogo ele é complicadinho, viu? Você tem que investigar muita coisa. Parece que o primeiro jogo o jogo original, né? Ele era em primeira pessoa também, e era de PC. Vamos ver aqui. Não foi, né? Eu queria desativar o Strange, mas... Cabana... Talvez a luneta? Não. Então, a roupa... Eu tentei algumas coisas e não saiu nada, né? Tem algumas coisas. Bomba desgraçada. Rapaz, isso aqui vai demorar bastante tempo para eu descobrir. Vamos oferecer evidência. Ah,
I thought you were meant to be intelligent.
I came across a pile of Hessian clothes in the shack. Are they Kimahere's?
Yes, I had to give him something to clothe himself. He seemed unfazed by his bare skin, but I found it distracting. Where on earth are you going with this?
Do you happen to know Kimahere's shoe size?
I wouldn't have the foggiest. But I'm sure it was enormous. Not that it matters. He spent his life barefoot. Despite my best efforts, he simply did not take to shoes.
Cadê as droguinhas tem aqui?
Has Kimahere ever indulged in tobacco?
No, the man doesn't even drink.
Are you certain? I found chewing tobacco in the garden.
I controlled Kimahere's expenses since he struggled with the currency. I would have known if he used tobacco.
Tô tem duas coisinhas atualizadas.
Why are you still here?
Ó, aqui na cabana, galera, ó, tinha um bagulho aqui no chão, ó. É sacanagem isso aqui, ó.
A scrap of Hessian. These were sturdy boxes. It would have required a serious blow to break them.
Tá. Então, aqui tem mais algumas coisinhas. Ó, então a gente consegue agora avançar no... o túnel do Paraná. Esse definitivamente é o que aconteceu. Só que agora eu tenho que ver se ele me dá mais alguma dica. Porque, mano, é mó sacanagem isso aqui, né, velho? Puta falta de sacanagem.
Where on earth are you going with this? Where on earth are you going with this? Are you joking? Why would I know this? Where on earth are you going with this?
Oh, meu Deus.
Is this spyglass familiar?
I don't recognize it.
Could it be Kimahia's, perhaps?
I doubt it. I never saw him with it, nor could I suggest how he might have come by it. This dreary rain is making a miserable day even worse.
Bom, galera, agora é o seguinte, ó. A gente pode marcar as evidências aqui. Por exemplo, esta aqui, ó. A gente marca ela aqui. E olha o que acontece aqui, ó. Curvada à esquerda. Então a marca... dando uma aqui. E agora a gente tem que marcar essa aqui. Aí acho que vai ser aqui, ó. Paralelas.
Someone moved a cart to this spot and then took it elsewhere. Can't see it anywhere in the garden.
Eu acho que tá com mais cara disso aqui, viu? Nocauteou o cara, bateu ali e foi levado. É. Acho que foi isso aqui mesmo, hein, velho. Foi raptado. Ah, dá pra validar também. Quase acertei. Então, essa aqui do começo. Essa aqui tá certa. Eu só preciso... Está certo. Eu só não entendo. É esse aqui que tá errado? Isso aqui, né?
Surveying from far, the intruder waited for a window of opportunity. When Kimahir went to sleep, the man crept up to the shack and slipped narcotics down the chimney pipe, then blocked it with a cloth. Kimahir inhaled the sedative and fell into a deep sleep. The intruder tried to move him, but the man was heavier than expected.
The intruder fell on the sack and dropped his spyglass. In order to transport the servant, he had to use the cart. The final challenge was opening the garden door. Luckily for our intruder, Kimahir had the key in his shack.
Remarkable. It makes total sense.
Pronto, resolvemos aqui o mistério. Coloca aquele otário lá. Cara, mas é muito difícil, viu? Tem que prestar muita atenção em muitas coisas.
You'd best have found something by now, gentlemen.
I found the residue of narcotics in Kimahir's brazier. There are several explanations, perhaps your servant's recreational interest, or an attempt at poisoning.
Cut to the chase, Mr. Holmes.
I fear that someone may have spied upon Kimahir. Likely the owner of the spyglass I found earlier. It appears they were watching for some time, as there was an impressive amount of chewing tobacco on the ground.
And your point?
You said that you checked the shack earlier. Did you notice the cart tracks near it? Now, one ought to expect a servant to make regular use of such a thing. Indeed, I would have overlooked the detail were it not for the cart's absence. If, as you say, Kimahir never leaves your estate, then where did it go?
I expect answers from you, Mr. Holmes, not questions.
I won't keep you in suspense any longer, Captain. Kimahir was abducted by the owner of the spyglass. When your servant fell asleep, he slipped a narcotic into Kimahir's brazier to make him sleep even more soundly. In order to carry a man as large as Kimahir, the intruder stole the cart and rolled him right out of your garden.
Now, hold on. All this simply to tell me what I already know? Why haven't you found him yet?
I only arrived a moment ago. It is, frankly,
No, já faz uma meia hora.
incredible that I have already deduced so much.
Every second you dawdle here, waiting for me to stroke your ego, is another second wasted. I'm not interested in the how, the why, or the who. I am only interested in recovering my investment. Spare me the claptrap, boy, and go and fetch my servant.
Truly, there is no better evidence of a man's nature than the way he treats those who help him. And you, sir, are a brute. The cruelty of your ignorance about the Maori people, your selfish attitude to a man's kidnapping.
The point is, Captain, we're telling you this for a reason. The intruder fled through the garden door, and we need a key to follow his trail.
Well, then you should have led with that. Here you go. I hope you'll return soon with good news. And in the meantime, please teach your companion the art of brevity.
E é isso aí, mano.
Stenwick makes his servant live in a tool shed. You think you know someone.
Are you stupid, Mr. Holmes? Stop loitering and go and do your job.
Bom, então aqui parece que a gente já arrumou tudo. Só que será que a gente pode abrir agora isso aqui? Sequestrador, não! Bom, aqui foi pro... Só não sei, eu acho que é pra lá que tem que ir, viu? Porque ali a gente dá acesso ao outro corredor que tava cheio de coisa. Agora a gente vai encontrar um monte de coisa a mais. Esse aqui é o carrinho, tá? Tem uma coisa ali.
A strange... Well, it's odorless, but from the way it absorbs water, I'd say saltpeter. Then we're in agreement. Well done. Wheels picked up grass along the way. Kimahir's cart, I gather. Sturdy rope, professionally tied in a Portuguese bowline. This knot is often used by sailors to create a bosun's chair.
Tá, mais uma... Aqui acho que já não tem mais nada. Acho que tem mais alguma coisa que ele pode me... Bom, então... O cartão telefônico e a carteira com salitre. Ah, meu Deus do céu. O rastro do sequestrador. Não! O sequestro do calitre. Nossa, mas é muito complicado, velho. Esse aqui é pior ainda, mano. É o cartão telefônico. Nossa, eu já não sei ligar mais nada com nada, mano.
Are you stupid, Mr. Holmes? Stop loitering and go and do your job.
Isso realmente é complicado, velho. Ó, porque se ele puxou pra cá... Ah, tem um bagulho pra cá. Eu não vi isso aqui. É sempre assim, você perde alguma...
A large pile of horse droppings.
Uma grande coisa de merda.
Many cigarette butts. Someone stood here for hours. There was a cab waiting here. Our abductor slipped in and then off into the night.
Não era aquela coisa que tava ali agora há pouco? Quais as características destacáveis do sequestrador? Então... Oh, meu Deus. O sequestro que mirra. Temos a luneta. Oh, meu Deus. O nó de marinheiro. Não! Ali tá certo. Saco. Oh. É isso? Não. Ah, é isso. Tá, foi consertado por um marinheiro. Parabéns. E aqui, aonde leva as pistas do Mia? Mas não tá aqui, velho. Ah, é a carteira e o negócio, mas então... Sequestra? Não. Caraca, mano, o que é então? Sequestrador. Ali. Aí, foi. Todas as evidências levam ao porto de Londres. Não há tempo de perder, vital que achamos um táxi até o posto de Londres.
The Strand proved not so useless after all. The saltpeter accident. Doctor, do you recall?
The Port of London. Of course. The footwear, the spyglass.
Indeed. We shall need to take a cab there.
Are you stupid, Mr. Holmes? Stop loitering.
Tá,
and go and do your job.
então aqui acho que a gente termina então a primeira parte.
Where to, Gav? The Port of London, please. I will show you where to stop.
E agora a gente vai lá. O Caminho do Inferno. Terminamos o capítulo 1. Tá aí então um pouquinho de Sherlock Holmes The Awakened. Espero que vocês tenham curtido o jogo. O jogo de investigação é meio complicado, tem que prestar bastante atenção. E se você se ferrar, você se ferrou. Porque tem muita coisa pra fazer no game.
Mr. Holmes, what a compelling mystery we have
Espero que
stumbled
vocês
upon.
tenham curtido.
Perhaps I have the premise of my...
Eu vou ficando por aqui hoje. Um abraço pra todo mundo, até a próxima. Falou, foi a sereia maldita.